Hello, viewers. We are going to share our analytical views on the topic dollars, aggressive politics, and economics. Before we proceed, we should understand that there is a great difference between a politician and a leader. A politician always thinks for future elections, while a leader always thinks in or for the future generations. This is the difference. But there are two type of leaders. One is economic leader, another is a political leader. Here we see that dollar is aggressively controlling the global economy in the same way as politics. But now it is showing a new path on economic and political situation in changed global scenario for global community. Here, there is a thinking or all we see that whenever the voters' collective psychology on socio politico economic issues matches with individual psychology or individual politicians' psychology on socio politico economic issues, then the chances of winnability for an individual politician increases. This is the situation. Here, we should also understand that when economics come on the forefront, politics has to follow it. While when politics come on the forefront, the economics has to follow it. This is the situation. We will see it one by one. Very first, we see that economics comes on the forefront where politics follow it. Going years back in Indian economy, we see that an American economist, famous economist, and the then US ambassador in India, named as Professor J.K. Galbraith, in his book has the affluent society has said India has to run faster in the race of economic development without carrying its knee injuries till it achieves its economic goal. Further, following this Galbraith vision, in 1991, the then Prime Minister of India, P.V. Narasimha Rao, along with the famous economist of India, Dr. Manmohan Singh, has opened a new vistas for Indian economy in the form of market economy. They have introduced various economic reforms to make Indian economy turn Indian economy into market economy. And later we see that out of this economic reforms in 2008, the then Prime Minister of India, Dr. Manmohan Singh, has given the landmark history or historical landmark to provide the highest level of GDP growth rate for India above to 9%. That was the achievement where economics has come forefront while politics has been pushed back. This is the situation. Now we will see that when politics come on the forefront and economics is pushed behind it. In 2024 presidential election of America, we see that the aggressive politics or political extremism of Donald Trump, the temperamental presidential candidate of America in 2024, has presented his aggressive and extreme political thinking before the American voters. By presenting his vision, the temperamental Donald Trump, the presidential candidate in US November 5, 2004 election, had said if he is not of he is not get elected in November 5 presidential election of USA, democracy in America will come to an end. This was the prediction of Donald Trump. Further, to aggravating the political extremism by sharpening his political thought, Donald Trump has further said that, or further said, if I don't get elected in presidential election of USA, it is going to be a bloodbath in whole of country. Such type of political extremism or political thinking on the eve of election may distort electoral process, may suppress the dissenting voice under the threat, violence and terror, which may prevail or which is showing in the political extremist past or the global community. So, in the midst of such type of political extremism under the temperamental, egoist, emotional and white nationalism hype, Donald Trump is trying to create a political extremism by pushing the economy behind it. But in the midst of such type of political extremism, the President of America, Joe Biden, has presented his economic vision by presenting the budget of 2025, where he says that in future government is going to spend $7.3 trillion and is going to borrow $1.8 trillion to cover up the shortfall after meeting the tax receipts. Here it shows that there is a great gap between spending and borrowing. So it means, perhaps it means, the gap may be higher, so it can be covered or by levying higher taxes in America after winning election. Now, Joe Biden has also presented his achievements by saying that American economy has taken economic expansion. The stock market has become bullish. Inflation is easing. These are the things of Joe Biden achievements. What American voters are not digesting it. In this situation, the Republican candidate Donald Trump has vehemently opposed the Joe Biden's taxation policy and presented his vision by saying that the tax will remain lower, tax will be cut, inflation will be lower, debt will be lower, borrowing will be lower, and in this situation, the economy will be better. This is the economic vision of Donald Trump under his political extremist prediction and statement. Here we see that both have presented very rosy economic picture for Americans, but they are vague on spending. They are not clear how they will spend and how will they brought the revenues. Here, in this situation, everything has been left on the American voters to take decision as to which one economic vision is physically viable. So it all depends upon American voters in the midst of political extremism and economic reality of America. Further, we see when we pay attention towards the American economy in last 10 years, we see that in last 10 years, investment in gold has brought a return of 100%. It means double of valuation, which makes gold as inflation hedge. We know that there is a strong negative correlation between a currency of a nation and a gold. Here, that's why historically gold is considered an inflation hedger. That's why in American economy gold is shining in recent days. While when we pay attention towards the cryptocurrencies in America, especially bitcoins has surged massively recording its past records or by smashing its past records. Under this situation, we see that two assets on America are shining in the midst of political extremism. Here we see that both gold and Bitcoin are shining, but it also gives indication that in future with the rate cut by Federal Bank of Fed Bank of America, the dollar valuation will decline. Equity market will fall. Bond yields will fall, and inflation will again increase. On the present economic situation where monetary and fiscal policy are playing important role in future, what or which type of American fiscal and monetary policy takes place cannot be set. But this is the present economic situation and last 10 years where gold and Bitcoin are shining. Here, seeing these things in the midst of global or in the midst of political extremism and prevailing economic and political global situation, there is a need of that in the midst of political extremism picking up globally, there is a need of emergence of the new pattern of political governance for the betterment or for the economic betterment of the global consumer and investor, which are also voters. So we should also think in this direction also in the midst of rising or picking up political extremism everywhere or globally. This is the important question before our viewers. The second one is democracy is facing another crude phase where democracy is being transformed into autocracy globally, slowly, and firmly. So there is a need of to save our democracy for the betterment of our future, but it all depends upon our political and economic leader rather than on politicians, because politicians always thinks for future election without or at the cost of future economic prosperity. This is my analytical views on the present or prevailing economic political scenario or global situation. Thanks, a lot of thanks to my viewers.